Hi everyone. So this session starts with the things to focus on for quiz 1. As I've mentioned, you're going to have quiz 1 on February 6th. We come back on the 4th and we will catch up with chapter 1 on February 6th. You'll take this quiz with your iClicker, so please be sure and get one at the bookstore and register it on Canvas per my prior instructions, and then plan to focus on these things in chapter 1. The elements required for becoming acquainted. What does the book say is more important than getting to know others? What are the advantages of self-disclosure? And I will pause there to tell you, you need to be thinking about what kind of multiple choice question I could ask regarding these. So there are several advantages of self-disclosure mentioned in the book. My multiple choice question would be, which of the following is not mentioned as one of the advantages of self-disclosure? So that's kind of how I work my quizzes. Considering the feelings of others is a topic in your text. Why are self-disclosure skills important? 3 steps in overcoming shyness, attributions, social perception, and making things you believe happen. So those are the topics for the quiz, and now we will talk more about the quiz. This is one of the questions you will see on the quiz. So I wanted you to get familiar with my approach. Self-awareness is not necessary in order to fully understand others. Is that true or is that false? What I do is, well, I'll let you know that's false. I display the answer so you can see if you got it right and learn the correct answer if not. So self-awareness is not necessary in order to fully understand others. False. It is very important to understand yourself in order to fully understand others. Oops, I went too far. Come back. Okay, so some of the content from the chapter is, what does self-disclosure help us with? First of all, defining yourself. When you hear yourself talking to someone else, you're gathering your thoughts to help create their understanding of who you really are. And as you're doing that, you're defining yourself and you're getting to know yourself. So when we do our self-disclosure exercise where you create 10 questions that you would like to be asked and switch them with a partner, you are defining yourself by the questions you've chosen to be asked and your answers to them. And as you were thinking about the questions and then listening to yourself answer them, you were getting to know yourself even better. Of course, self-disclosure helps in getting acquainted with others, but the most important thing is that self-disclosure helps us develop emotional intimacy. I think that one of the defining features of being human is that we are able to become emotionally intimate with each other, and it's probably one of the most glorious and delightful things we can experience, is to truly know someone and have them know you. That is the foundation for best friendships and for wonderful love relationships. And it would be wonderful if we even had that with maybe our mothers and fathers. The advantages of self-disclosure are that it improves relationships. When you tell your truth about who you are and the other person understands you, you have a much better relationship. And likewise, when they share who they are and you understand them, again, improvement in the relationship. Advantages of self-disclosure include promoting mental health. When you are able to tell your story and not feel like you have to keep secrets, your emotional health improves. It also produces self-validation. When you hear yourself talking about who you are, it helps you define who you are, and that validates you as a person. It also promotes impression management, which kind of leads to social control. When you self-disclose, you are usually disclosing in a way that creates a favorable impression with the other person, but sometimes you're also telling the truth about some of your shortcomings. So you can do impression management by doing self-disclosure. And something that you will learn when you self-disclose with someone in the class is that you're going to be asked, well, were you honest? And do you think the other person was honest with you? Some ideas for the example questions for the Getting Acquainted interview could include, what would you like your life to be like in 5 years? Give details on your career, your relationship, location, how you would use your free time. Or what do you do for fun now that you really look forward to doing? Is there something you're really passionate about doing? Of course, you can have, why are you going to college? What is something unique about you? What accomplishments are you most proud of in your life? What are your hobbies and leisure activities? What makes you happy? Okay, so here's some more content from our chapter that I think is important. Your chapter talks about loneliness, and that was my master's thesis topic. I studied loneliness in people age 55 and over who lived either in their own home, a mobile home park, or in a high-rise retirement building for senior citizens. And I discovered that the most lonely people were the people in the high rise. Even though they had lots of people around them, they were not as happy and connected to people that really mattered to them as people who still lived in their own homes. But the real outcome of my research was that it wasn't your living situation that determined so much about your loneliness, but your income. I hate to say money buys happiness, but in my groups of people, the more money they had, the less lonely they were. So I had to propose an explanation for that, and it was that people who have money are able to travel to see their loved ones, and they're also able to pay for dinner out when they invite their loved ones over, or they have the resources to make a dinner for them. So it wasn't just the money, but it was what the money could provide. Okay, so in your book, it talks about that loneliness is most prevalent in teens, single people, divorced, and widowed people, not senior citizens. They are not more lonely. And we sometimes think that they are kind of isolated and don't have a lot to do, but actually they have more contentment about their relationships than teens, singles, divorced, and widowed people. Loneliness does cause depression, and one thing that I think is pretty tragic is living together loneliness. And that's the difference between expected and achieved emotional connection when you live together. People go into a marriage really excited about journeying through life together and sharing all of the important moments, but they sometimes become jaded to each other and don't really share very much. And they end up being more roommates than lovers. And that makes them sad, and it makes me sad for them. Your book talks about overcoming shyness, and it says that there are 3 things we should do if we feel shy. And please, in this class, listen to the information either because it applies to you or because it might apply to someone you care about. So even if you're not shy, it would be great if you would pay attention to 3 steps that people can go through when they do feel shy, because your own child might be shy, or you might have a friend that is shy, and this might be helpful information for them. So first, analyze your shyness and learn what situations cause your discomfort, because some people are shy out in public, but not with their family. Some people can talk to a stranger, but not to someone they're close to or should be close to. So it's important to figure out where you feel shy. And then work on things that build your self-esteem. Give yourself small challenges in the realm of connecting with others and enjoy little accomplishments that will make you feel better about yourself. Also, there are many books and workbooks on improving one's self-esteem that can be found in the library and in the bookstore, and I highly recommend that people work through those if they feel shy and have low self-esteem. And then the third step is improve your social skills. And what I have to say about that is it's really difficult to do, but it's going to happen for those of us in this class, and you'll see how we do it, and maybe you can make suggestions for other people that you know who are shy. So, analyze your shyness, build your self-esteem, improve your social skills. Watch for that question on the quiz. And I would add, manage the imagined risk. Just think about, what do I expect would be the worst thing that could happen if I were to ask that person out, or say hi to this person, or tell this person how I'm really feeling. And think about whether or not you could live with that, because a lot of the time you could deal with a problematic outcome, but you don't give yourself credit for being able to do so. Your book also talks about people perception. And the first thing they talk about is primacy effect. The first impression is more powerful than all later interactions. So you probably know about that in your own life, where someone rubbed you the wrong way at the beginning, and then it took a long time to actually get to know them and start to like them and be able to overcome that first impression. Your book talks about prejudice, which is prejudging a person, and you know what that is like, judging them based on something that might not be accurate about who they are. And stereotyping is having preconceived, inaccurate, and rigid beliefs. Like, I gave you an example. What do you think when you see darkened windows in cars? I don't know what you're thinking right now, and we're not in class, so I can't find out. But some people tell me that they think that the person is a gangster or a drug dealer. Well, what if they're just sort of sensitive to light and have their windows tinted because of that? We make errors a lot. One thing you can do for extra credit is you can go online and just put in IAT, or implicit association test, and you will have the opportunity to take a test to see that if you have a prejudice and if you prejudge people. And you can do this for extra credit. You just answer the usual extra credit questions and turn them in with your portfolio. Okay, that's it for this session. I'll see you in the next one.